American film director James Cameron, renowned for directing the film Titanic, has expressed his astonishment at the similarities between the circumstances of the liner sinking and the submarine Titan. Furthermore, he is surprised by other circumstances that suggest the presence of dark aspects in this tragedy. He hinted that it looked like it was set up.
Speaking of James Cameron, another person closely familiar with the Titanic.
Back now with Deep Sea Explorer and Titanic director James Cameron.
Hi everyone and welcome back to Celeb Live channel. James Cameron has given several high-profile interviews regarding the recent tragedy. Director, known for Titanic, had been warning about the dangers of diving to the wreckage site of the liner as early as 2012. He himself made 33 dives before shooting his blockbuster film. Furthermore, his company specializes in the production of deep-sea submersibles, making him a true expert in the field.
Well, I've been down there many times. I know the wreck site very well, as does my friend Bob Ballard. I've made 33 dives.
Unfortunately, his advice was not heeded until it was too late. According to Cameron, many experts knowledgeable about deep-sea submersibles had raised concerns with the company operating the submersible. They wrote letters to OceanGate Expeditions stating that the submersible required certification and deeming it too experimental for manned dives.
To the company, saying that what they were doing was too experimental to carry passengers and that needed to be certified. And
Cameron stated that both the tragedies of the Titanic and the Titan were preceded by disregarded warnings. In the case of the Titanic, the captain set sail across the Atlantic on a moonless night despite being warned about icebergs. Similarly, the company servicing the submersible ignored all warnings and essentially sent people to their doom.
Do you worry about this having an impact on the continued exploration?
Furthermore, both Cameron and many other experts are surprised by numerous other circumstances. Is there evidence that the tragedy was not accidental and that everything was planned? But by whom? As you know, the missing OceanGate company's submersible, Titan, lost communication with the base ship during its descent to the wreckage site on Sunday morning. The onboard air supply would only last until Thursday morning. A large-scale rescue operation was organized, but the rescuers proved helpless. As representatives of the U.S. Navy stated, the problem lay in the fact that submarines cannot reach such depths. As James Cameron himself noted, it is an extremely dangerous place, and if you descend there, you must understand that no one will be able to rescue you if something goes wrong.
Yes, I knew when I made that dive.
Later, debris with signs of damage consistent with an internal catastrophic explosion was found. 5 major fragments were discovered approximately 500 meters from the bow of the Titanic. United States Coast Guard Rear Admiral John Moger has stated that the analysis of the wreckage indicates that the submersible suffered catastrophic damage and all of its passengers perished. According to the preliminary assessment, the submersible's hull could not withstand the pressure and was crushed by the water's immense depth. After this news, OceanGate Expeditions, the operator of the missing submersible Titan, declared its crew as deceased. Our hearts are with these 5 souls and every member of their families during this tragic time. We grieve the loss of life and joy they brought to everyone they knew, the company shared. While the company tried to portray the story as concluded, many people online started questioning and drawing public attention to some very peculiar facts. And now, with numerous interviews featuring James Cameron, the situation appears even more bizarre.
Heartbreaking. I think it's heartbreaking that it was so preventable.
Before delving into the theory, let's examine all the peculiarities. Let's start with the fact that the submersible was experimental. As an expert asserts, they lacked a navigation system and did not obtain certification. Even if this crew had returned, I fear that a tragedy would still have occurred in the near future. Cameron himself confirms this information. He believes that it was a significant mistake to construct the hull with carbon fiber, as it becomes compromised due to delamination. Submersible hulls are typically made from materials such as steel or titanium, which have proven standards, or acrylic.
I had misgivings about prior designs that used carbon fiber cylinders with titanium end caps.
As reported by the New York Times, nearly 40 experts warned about the dangers of the Titan back in 2018. The management of OceanGate disregarded the concerns and dismissed an employee who had prepared a report detailing the defects of the Titan. Moreover, there was another issue. Cameron revealed that he always dived using a 2-subsystem system, ensuring that if one submersible encountered a problem, the crew would still have communication and life support through the other submersible. But Titan went alone to the depths. It had no backup option.
This sub had no backup. It didn't have a lot of backup systems.
Therefore, it can be confidently stated that the company sent these people to their doom. But the million-dollar question remains, was it mere negligence or a deliberate act?
Talked about the safety risks. We've reported on the fact that the people on board signed waivers. They knew that this was dangerous.
Many experts, including Cameron himself, have taken note of all these peculiarities and raised one logical question. Why was the expedition even sent if everything was so blatantly apparent?
And that there weren't very many other vehicles that could come get them out if something goes wrong.
For example, British businessman Chris Brown, who declined to dive to the Titanic due to doubts about the quality of OceanGate's technology, told Sun newspaper that the vessel is controlled from the inside using a Logitech gaming controller with 2 joysticks and 4 colored buttons. Additionally, according to Brown, he learned that old construction scaffolding was used as ballast for the submersible. In other words, for everyone knowledgeable in this field, it was evident that the submersible was essentially a regular coffin, pardon my bluntness, and this tragedy could have been avoided.
I think it's just astonishing. It's really quite surreal. And of course,
on board the Titan were 5 individuals: the founder of OceanGate, Stockton Rush, French professional aquanaut Paul Henry Nargeolet, British businessman of Pakistani descent Shahzada Dawood, and his 19-year-old son, Suleiman. Later, the New York Times discovered that Wendy Rush, the spouse of the OceanGate founder, is the great-great-grandniece of Titanic passengers Isadora and Ida Strauss, who perished in the liner's sinking in 1912. Did you not notice the strangeness? One of the passengers was the founder of the company. In other words, the very person through whom all these reports of danger had passed. Did he really decide to risk his own life and the lives of others, and for what purpose? This apparatus is not unique. There are many other companies that provide similar services. At the very least, there is James Cameron's company. Yet, the expedition took place specifically using this dangerous apparatus.
I had a composite hull, and I told those guys, I said, somebody's going to get killed in that sub or in a sub like it.
As reported by the Wall Street Journal, which surveyed other OceanGate clients, the waiver signed by all travelers before the dive mentions the risk at least 3 times. Former tourists who paid $250,000 for deep sea excursions stated to the publication that the risks were evident. Therefore, the crew was well aware of all the risks. Moreover, there's another, more alarming strangeness. According to experts, there are many questions surrounding the search and rescue operation. They assert that a response to the tragedy should have been initiated immediately on the day the vessel lost communication. Additionally, when diving to such depths, an accompanying support vessel should have been deployed alongside the Titan. I have previously mentioned Cameron's statements on this matter, as he also points out the same peculiarities.
Hydrothermal vents, or even to a wreck like Titanic or Bismarck or...
Another expert states, the pilot and the support vessel with communication are crucial. The moment communication ceased, it should have been considered an emergency situation. For many experts, it was unclear why the ship couldn't be located for such a prolonged period. It has been revealed that the rescue teams had 10 rescue vessels and remotely operated vehicles at their disposal. For Cameron and other specialists, it is incomprehensible how, with such efforts, the submersible could remain unfound, especially when the specific area of descent was known in advance. Hence, a natural question arises: what if it was all staged? Just connect all the facts that James Cameron has shared with us in your mind.
Paid $500,000 to go down in this?
Firstly, we have an uncertified submersible whose potential dangers have been warned about by experts for many years. Secondly, an unconventional crew composition featuring billionaires. And finally, a highly peculiar search operation that, according to many experts, seemed more like a mere confirmation of the submersible's demise. Not only did the rescue operation start too late, but also not all available resources were utilized in the search for the submersible. For internet users and many outspoken experts, all of this appears to be a staged disappearance. And with each passing hour, this theory garners more evidence. Individuals of such magnitude could have their reasons for orchestrating such an event: business rivals, a desire to fade into obscurity. This is a well-known tactic in literature and even in our history. But how to disappear without raising suspicion? That's right in front of everyone's eyes, everyone will discuss it, lament the obvious facts: the submersible's lack of safety, untested experimental technologies. Yet, no one will pay attention to the subtle peculiarities. For example, the delayed rescue operation. They will go unnoticed or be dismissed as negligence. And perhaps, while the rescue operation was at a standstill, it was the perfect opportunity to scatter debris from another submersible while presenting us with footage of the Titan descending into the depths.
We haven't had a single fatality of a deep submersible vehicle across many countries.
And many individuals took to the internet to share their observations. Not just Cameron and the experts noticed the peculiarities surrounding this expedition. For example, one user on YouTube commented under a news video saying, "It's strange how the submersible wasn't certified and had known risks, yet they proceeded with the expedition. Makes you wonder if it was intentional, a way to stage their disappearance and divert attention." Just a hunch, but these billionaires might have ulterior motives. And they weren't alone in their opinion. Here's another user writing, "It almost seems like they wanted the submersible to vanish without a trace. There's definitely more to this than meets the eye." Here's another comment. "It's as if they wanted to showcase the submersible flaws and vulnerabilities. And why didn't they send a proper support vessel? This feels like a carefully orchestrated act designed to divert attention from something else entirely." This tragedy has horrified everyone, and although the company has already issued an official statement, and authorities have even identified the main cause as the experimental hull made of unreliable material, there are still people who notice such small peculiarities and piece them together. What can you say about this? Have you noticed any other inconsistencies or peculiarities in this story? And what are your thoughts on James Cameron's statements? Please leave your comment below and let's continue the discussion. Thank you all for tuning in and joining me on this wild ride. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash that like button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on the latest update. Until next time, and stay curious, peace out.